Which one is going to be better for artificial intelligence? Will it be HBAR or will it be Algorand? Both are signaling a strong push towards artificial intelligence lately, and I think they both have a great case to make, but which one's better? We're going to dive into that on today's Frugal BC. By the way, guys, if you like this kind of stuff, please hit that like and subscribe button. Now remember, you don't have to just smash it, you can just press it gently, and it works just fine that way too. By the way, we are brought to you by non-fungible domains. Guys, if you want that .algo address that makes doing everything in Algorand so much easier, check out non-fungible domains. They got vaults, segments, and it's so much easier than remembering all those silly letters and numbers, because guess what? I'm not going to remember them. I just like to remember the .algo address, so much easier. So check them out in the description below, non-fungible domains. And we are brought to you by Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius is a meme coin and NFT project on the Algorand blockchain, spreading the message about stoicism, on a mission to spread that stoicism. They got some really cool stuff in the pipeline that they keep coming out with. I love that these guys are always building. They have tons of videos that they've been coming out which is super awesome. So check them out in the description below. Marcus Aurelius. Big shout out to both of our sponsors. We also have channel memberships for starting at only $1. So check that out. You can get videos before anyone else, plus bonus videos. Anyway, onto the show, because I think this debate is super interesting, and I asked some people in my audience which one they thought was going to be better, and we will get to that at the end. But first, let's make the case for each of them. First off, Algorand, very fast, has clocked in at 15,000 TPS already. That's actual results, whereas the hypothetical maximum was 10K. It's already actually exceeded that. Very cool. And it's very decentralized. The number of nodes is super impressive. Ever since they went to staking rewards, it went from like a couple hundred nodes to thousands, which is great to see. Also, Python coding for smart contracts, which was a great move by the Algorand Foundation, switched over to Python and now TypeScript as well, which means developers can use languages that they're familiar with instead of having to learn a whole new one. I love that. And agent-to-agent payments have actually been demonstrated on the smart contracts, so we know it works. We actually saw a demonstration, had that in a video this last week. And now the Algorand CMO is signaling a strong pivot in the direction of AI, as has the CEO of the Algorand Foundation, Stacy Warden. But let's see what Mark had to say on this.
One of the core use cases for Algorand is as a payment system, because transactions are incredibly cheap, incredibly low cost. We have extremely high throughput, and we have something called instant finality. So you don't have to wait for a transaction to be finalized. Everything is instantly final the moment it gets recorded in a block. And so therefore it's very good as a payment network. And so where we see huge opportunities around the proliferation of AI agents and the ability for agents to pay each other. Like, everybody knows and everybody believes that the world will evolve to the point where there's going to be more agents than humans. And so you're going to have all kinds of specialized agents that do this or that. And so there's not going to be a single kind of God agent that is able to do everything for you. So there's going to be multiple agents, and people and agents will have to communicate with each other and exchange value with each other. And I cannot imagine that agents will exchange value over traditional bank rails. That's just not going to happen. It's like sending an email through a post office, right? Like, it's not going to happen. It requires instant settlement at high speed, high velocity. And so that's where we see the big opportunity, is really enabling a payment infrastructure for agents to exchange value. And that's I think where we focused on.
Yeah, 100% here. I am really excited about this. I think he's smart in identifying that. I think the Algorand Foundation is smart in identifying this opportunity, because like you said, you just can't do it with traditional banks. It's too slow. It's way too slow. Yeah, so I think Algorand is very smart in focusing on agent-to-agent payments. I think that's going to be huge. And like I said, it's already been demonstrated on smart contracts, so we know it's possible. Very cool technology, and just kind of wild to see two agents, on chain, just negotiating with a price with each other. It really feels like we're in the future. But Algorand signaling this now, and this is pretty recent. Meanwhile, HBAR has been kind of on this for a while. Let's see what we got going on here. Now, just like Algorand, HBAR Hedera is a very fast, I'd say, chain, for lack of a collective noun, but really it's a hash graph. It's a little bit different. 10K TPS, but untested. I think the highest it's peaked at is around 3,000. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I'm sure you will. One of the things I think Hedera has going for it is it has the attention of some of the biggest tech companies in the world that are sitting on their governing council. Ever heard of Google? Kind of a big deal, and they're heavily involved in AI. So having them on the Hedera governing council, pretty big deal. Hedera also has peer-to-peer gossip. Algorand has been working on that. Don't think it's live yet. I could be wrong about that. I haven't seen any updates that said it's live. So Hedera definitely has a +1 in that section. And one of the big things I think though is that they launched an AI studio. Now see, that to me is a huge signal that they're really taking this seriously. Why don't we dive a little more into this? Yeah, and this is from All In Crypto. Hedera AI Studio launches open source AI DeFi tools for HBAR ecosystem, which includes ELIZA OS and Hashgraph tools for HBAR development. So this is basically an all-in-one open source kit for AI development on HBAR. This includes ELIZA OS, which is the Hedera agent kit, OpenConv AI, which by the way, they have an agent kit separately, as well as this AI studio, OpenConv AI, MCP server tools, and now the Hedera AI Studio, which should streamline AI development, which is, according to this, it's the first of its kind in an all-in-one AI package for developers to make agents and automated services with the tools at the ready. So it's hard to argue when you're just you basically got AlgoKit, except it's specifically for AI. That's a pretty big deal. And I think Hedera might be a little ahead of the curve compared to Algorand on it. And by the way, the Kabila app also has its own no-code smart contract builder. Hedera dApp development made easy with Kabila's smart contract builder on HBAR. With the contract builder, developers on Hedera can easily create decentralized applications while novices can get introduced to the world of developing on HBAR. So this is kind of like AlgoKit in my opinion, and great that they put this all together. It becomes basically a developer playground with Hedera contract builder. And so I think this also helps HBAR and helps people who are fairly new to the ecosystem to start building. So which one is better? Well, first off, before I give you my opinion, I asked my audience and let's see what they had to say. So this one almost got 6,000 views, which is quite a bit for me. One said that's hard to say. Oh, he was talking about price predictions. That is not what I was talking about. I said AI specifically. Coolahan, friend on Ada, said, I love the idea of AI agents using algo for transactions since they're so fast, cheap, and reliable. Definitely, big time. Now, Crypto Avon said Hedera Hashgraph, didn't really put an explanation. Jazza says both, which I don't want to give away too much, but we'll see what I say at the end. Hedera HBAR, the new AI studio, is a great move by Hedera. It was me. We responded to that. Probably just said, yep. Hedera seems to have a leg up with rumors of NVIDIA connections. You know, that is one thing I left out of my video, is that they have this partnership with NVIDIA, which I don't know specifically has anything to do with AI, but I have a hard time believing it wouldn't or have some connection there. Now, Controller has a different idea. I think having Python and TypeScript compatibility is going to make Algorand more attractive. And that's a good point. Also, decentralization and atomic transfers are important if agent-to-agent transactions are going on. Very interesting. Some people just said Algorand, some said both. Someone even said ICP wasn't in my question, but hey, you never know. I said with Hedera with HBAR partnership. Interesting. Did everyone forget about IBM Improve AI? It's on Hedera now. There's one. There's a point. HBAR is using ICP DAI, so that's interesting. There's a lot of interesting responses. A lot of these I didn't get to. It doesn't make sense to use anything else than Hedera. Definitely Algo, HBAR. Looks like some Japanese here. Drama. I see something about drama. Beyond that, my reading of kanji is not great. Nobody has a better team than Algorand. That's just facts. Well, I mean, that's an opinion. Actually, saying something is better than something else is an opinion unless you have some metrics to back it up. So very mixed. I found this very, very interesting. All right, so what do I have to say? I think both have their advantages, absolutely. I do have to say, I think Hedera is a few steps ahead because they've been working on this for a while. They actually launched a separate AI studio, which I think is really, really important because they just have an actual platform that people can use to start getting started on this AI stuff. You know, they got an agent developer and an AI studio that encompasses that, plus a number of other tools. They got no code contract builders. I think that's a big leg up. Now, there's definitely an argument to be made for Algorand with atomic swaps, Python and TypeScript native coding. Definitely more decentralized. You know, you don't have a few governing councils running nodes, you have the whole community running nodes. Both are fast, but Algorand has been more tested in that field. Like I said, it's already booked some blocks where it's tested over 15,000. So that's pretty big, whereas Hedera is just, I think its max has been 3,000 what I saw. Again, if you have linked to something where it's been tested higher, it's actually used higher TPS than that, please let me know. Algorand's just been around a little longer. That's a benefit too. But if I was going to pick one, first off, I think both can have a role in AI, and I think both will be important for AI. I think Hedera has a leg up because it's just gotten out of the gate faster. Now, will that prove the test of time? Who knows? But I do think Hedera got started on this much quicker, whereas Algorand has just started signaling this like a few weeks ago. I haven't heard much about AI before that. There could be stuff going on behind the scenes, but Hedera's been talking about this for a hot minute, and they built the tools. So I'm going to give the advantage right now to Hedera, but that doesn't mean that will last. So stay tuned. And by the way, I think both of these are great chains, and I hold both of them. I probably do more in Algorand because I got started with it earlier. And Saucer Swap, I had some issues with, and hopefully those are fixed. But overall, yeah, I think both have a strong argument to be made for AI. Now, which one do you think will do better for AI? Let me know in the comments below. I'm sure a lot of people are going to say their favorite coin, but I would implore you to take a look at the facts first and then make your mind up. But definitely let me know in the comments what you think. Otherwise, I'm FrugalBC. Stay safe out there, and I will see you in the future.